I mean, look, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room is homosexuality and the agenda that this small group is seeking and imposing on the rest of us. That is true. But as a church, we obviously have a responsibility legally, but we have a responsibility as believers. I'm not here today to talk to you about your obligations and loving those who are engaged in that sinful conduct, just like there are those engaged in lots of different sinful conduct. Like all of you, I'm a sinner saved by grace, and because of that, born again. And that's what I pray for anybody who's engaged in that conduct. What I'm talking about are the illegal attacks. What we're going to talk about are the legal attacks that group of individuals and their surrogates are unleashing on the rest of the country, and what you can do to protect yourselves. Because there's a clash of absolutes. Make no question about that. And it is coming, and quite frankly, it's actually upon us. Religious liberty rights, our rights to believe, to speak and act upon those beliefs, versus what is now being raised as a new sexual orthodoxy. I got to be in the Supreme Court 2 weeks ago to hear the arguments in the marriage case. And let me tell you, the other side wants to elevate this right, and they speak of it as same-sex marriage, but it's so much more than that. It's really a right to engage in homosexual conduct and to be protected in that. They want to see that right enshrined in our Constitution. And they want to elevate it to a constitutional right. And I'd submit beyond elevating it to a constitutional right, they want to elevate it all the way up to it's an all-important right that trumps all other rights, including religious liberty. That argument that I was at 2 weeks ago, the case deals with, does the 14th Amendment require that all states redefine marriage to include same-sex couples? And I'd submit to you that the real issue is, does the 14th Amendment require a redefinition that would destroy marriage? Because marriage is the definition of marriage is one man and one woman. It's been that for millennia. And what they're saying is, we want to completely destroy that, and they're arguing now for two men to be able to get married or two women to get married. I submit to you that there'll be no line there. And actually, in the arguments, Chief Justice Roberts, who's in the center there, said, what is the limiting? Why couldn't 4 people want to get married? And why not one man and 3 women, or 3 women and 1 man? And we're going to spare you some of those slides. We actually have a presentation that we get into it. And I will tell you, we say it's PG-13. It may be R, or what do they call the next one, NC-17 or whatever. It's disgusting. Words, I've learned words I didn't know. Other than Chelsea and Joelia, my assistants here, have you ever heard of the word throuple? Throuple? So that's 3 people coming together of different sexes, maybe mixed sexes or whatever. They're coming together. There are people who are marrying themselves. The people somebody wanted to marry a tree. People marrying their pets. It's just like, you read the New Testament, you read about all the things, you think, well, that's not going on in our community. Oh, yes, it is. We're back to that. We're back to that time where debauchery rules. And that's really when what was presented at the Supreme Court was the complete destruction of marriage and elevating this right to really anything goes. That's the right they're seeking. Anything goes being elevated into our Constitution.